Congratulations! You probably just got promoted to your first management role, or maybe you got a promotion to lead an even bigger team. And now you're wondering of how you are going to master leading your team and being in this new role. Leadership can feel so exciting, and it's a real privilege to lead other people. But at the same time, it can feel quite challenging and difficult. So in this video, I'm going to share with you 10 tips and things to think about when you start a new role, so that you can start feeling confident as you approach this new chapter. Hi, my name is Anne Koopman, and I'm a former engineer and senior leader in the manufacturing industry. And now I'm a leadership coach for emerging leaders like you. And I'm also an expert for team development and culture development. On this channel, I regularly publish new videos around the content of leadership, managing ourselves, and also how to build effective teams. So make sure you hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you don't miss out on any future videos. So managing a new team can feel quite difficult, especially if it is your first time. But don't worry, I got you. You will be able to succeed in this role and you will enjoy the journey. My first tip is about understanding the transition from an individual contributor to a team leader or manager. Now, as you go up the leadership ladder, there is going to be a transition in the way that you work and in the tasks that you do. You probably were promoted because you were an expert in the role that you did before. You've gained lots of great experience and you did a really good job. Now that you are responsible to manage maybe the same team as before or even a different team, you will have to do a few different things. Your work will shift a little bit. You will still have some direct tasks to do, but a lot of time is going to be spent talking to your manager and other stakeholders. It's going to be talking to your employees, solving their problems and supporting them in whatever they need support with. And it's probably also going to be certain reporting on KPIs and maybe budget management. So you will have to change the way you think and the way you work. You are now responsible not only for your own performance, but also the performance of the people around you. And as you move up the leadership ladder, you will also start to think a little bit more strategically about the department or your unit or even a whole organization. So just keep in mind that this now is a learning journey. You will have to make some changes to the way that you work. Don't worry, you're allowed to make mistakes. It's all good. And just keep an open mind to observe first what is going to happen to your role and your tasks. Tip number 2 is about knowing your strength. And I know I talk a lot about strength because I work as a strength coach and I've seen firsthand what a difference it can make in the confidence of an individual when they get to know their strength. Confidence is key when we start a leadership role because we want to feel like we can trust our abilities to learn what is to learn. Confidence doesn't mean that you think you know it all and that you're perfect. It just means that you can trust your own abilities and your strength to help you figure it out and to help you learn and adapt to this new role. So take some time to understand your strength and then start to understand how your strengths can help you to fulfill some of the key responsibilities of leaders, like communicating really clearly, inspiring for action, managing performance and holding people accountable, building strong relationships, and leading through change. So start to think about how do my strengths help me to fulfill these responsibilities. Tip number 3 is managing up. So your relationship with your new manager. Start to have regular conversations straight away. Ask them for a one-on-one meeting at least once a week. And especially at the start, have a few conversations set up to fully understand this role. The first questions you want to ask are all around understanding the baseline. So who is in the team? What is the history of the team? Has anything happened in the past? Were there specific challenges or success stories? And then start to shift the conversation to what are the expectations in this role? What is a quick win that I can achieve in the next 3 months? And what are my expectations and objectives for the next 3 to 6 months and the next 12 months. Then it's also your time to clarify your expectations to your manager. So what do you need from them to be at your best? What kind of support, what kind of resources, and what kind of help in general? How would you like this relationship to be going forward so that you can be at your best and grow into this role as quickly as possible? Tip number 4 is all about getting to know your team. Now that you're started in this role, one of your most important roles and tasks now is to get to know every single player on your team. Schedule regular one-on-one meetings from the get-go. I always say to meet, especially at the start, meet once a week, and then you can meet once a week or maybe every 2 weeks, but no less than that. And start to understand who they are, where they came from, what do they love about their work? What are their challenges? What is something they're proud of in the past? And then start to develop this relationship of understanding what is it that you can do for them? What are quick wins that you can help them achieve? Remember, you want to build up trust because trust is going to be the baseline of you being a successful leader. Just because you now have a title doesn't mean they are going to follow you or that they're going to respect you. You need to build up the trust, and you do that by showing them who you are and by listening. So it's really important that when you meet with the people one-on-one for the first few weeks and months, that you do most of the listening. You ask some questions and then you listen. You don't come up with conclusions, or you don't give any advice or share your opinions. At the start, it's really important that you listen and that they feel like you're truly interested in understanding who they are and what has happened in the past and where they want to go. So you want to take time to know their strengths, their aspirations, and their needs, because your main role is going to be to support them to be the best versions of themselves. And if you want some more tips on how to manage one-on-one meetings and to make them more effective, check out this video where I share my key tip on how to set up effective one-on-one meetings. Tip number 5 is about getting to know your stakeholders and your peers. Depending on what role you are in, you are going to have several internal or maybe even external stakeholders. And these relationships are key to your success. You have to understand who they are, what they need, what their goals and aspirations are. So similar to the people on your team, you want to focus on these stakeholders and think about how you can invest in these relationships to build trust from the get-go. So here I also would schedule regular one-on-one interactions. They don't have to be weekly, but to make sure that within your organization, and also if you have external stakeholders, that you have regular catch-ups with them so you always know where they are at and if there's anything that you can do to invest in these relationships. Tip number 6 is all about defining your own objectives. So sit down after you have observed for a few weeks, sit down and define what do you want to achieve. Based on your discussions with your manager and with your direct reports, what are the things that you want to achieve in this role? And with that, think about some quick wins and great goals that you can achieve within the first 3 months so that you have some great success to show for, and then start to think a bit more strategically about your goals down the line, 6 months and 12 months goals. Tip number 7 is about defining or redefining the goals of your team members. Now, if you inherit a team throughout the year, chances are they already have a performance plan in place with certain objectives given by their previous manager. You want to make sure that you review those in time shortly after you started in the role to make sure that these also align with the goals that you foresee for this team and for the organization. Because what happens if you wait too long to check in with the goals, you might end up at the end of year review and your expectations do not match up with what they have been told at the start of the year for their objectives. So make sure that you review those objectives and then adapt them if need be, but do that in discussion with the individual. So if you want to make changes to it, discuss and agree on that together, but make sure that you review that so you don't have any issues when you later sit together in the end of year review. Tip number 8 is about practicing effective communication and having regular feedback conversations. So from the get-go, you want to establish good communication with your team members, and you want to practice to give feedback straight away. You want to make sure that you give timely feedback, whether you observe something that was really great or whether you observe something where somebody has potential for improvement. Create this habit and culture of providing feedback by making sure that there is psychological safety in your team and that you have a good base that is based on trust. And then just make sure that it's normal for you to provide feedback and also invite feedback from your team members regularly so you can all start to understand how you can best work together. For more tips around feedback, check out this video here. Tip number 9 is to ask for help. This is a new challenge. Management is not easy, especially when you're just starting out or when you're in your first few management roles. You will always have different individuals to manage. They have lots of different backstories. They have lots of different strengths, and they have lots of different personalities. And it's not always easy to understand how to best manage these people. The bigger your team gets, the more likely it is that there is a person that feels a little bit tricky to manage. So it's important that you also ask for help. You can find a mentor, internal or external from your organization. You can engage a coach to help you just get started, or maybe have someone that you can talk to regularly as you transition into this new role. If you have a good relationship with your manager, you can also ask them for help and regular feedback. You are not alone in this, and you are still learning. Nobody expects you and can expect you to know everything straight away. Leadership is difficult, and you're allowed to ask questions and to grow over time. And the last tip is to reflect regularly. From the start, take some time at the end of the week to just reflect on the week and how you are feeling. And then start to ask yourself, what went really well? Where do I feel confident in my role? What are the areas or situations that make me feel a little bit awkward or insecure? What conversations did I have that went well or didn't go so well? And then start to reflect and think about how you can make certain adjustments. Also reflect on how well you're managing this transition. Are you getting stuck in too many details and you can't let go of your old task or your old role? Or are you already looking at too big of a picture and kind of losing sight of your team? So start to reflect, how well are you going in the transition as well? And then again, making some adjustments. At the end of the day, your main role is to help your team be successful. And your success is also going to be measured on the success of your team. It's not about you, it's about them. And if they do a good job, so will you. Good luck on this journey. I would love to hear what your biggest challenges are when you think about your leadership role. Put them in the comments below, and I can make new videos covering those questions to help and support you on your journey. And if you would like to have more tips on leadership, make sure you check out this video where I share my 10 leadership lessons after my career as a senior leader in the manufacturing industry. I can't wait to see you in the next video.